2000. Now, earlier on, we had Anna O'Neill, who is in Morden this morning for us. We're hearing from her at the Ahmadiyya Mosque. There's a big disagreement going on between two strands of Islam. In a moment, we'll hear from the other side. But let's first back to Anna. Anna.
Yes, hello Jumoke. Yes, we're in the Ahmadiyya Mosque here in Morden. It's a huge mosque, absolutely beautiful. Very nice indeed. I'm sitting in some of the offices in the back with some of the local Ahmadi community here. Apparently 30,000 members in the UK, so not a small group by any means. And the picture is coming across to me as I've been speaking for the last 20 minutes or so to some of the members of the community here of a very well organised, a very charitable, a very altruistic organisation of Muslims who are doing, an awful lot to try to sort of get the message across to the Muslim community and to the wider world at large. But they differ from mainstream Muslims in a great way, a big way really, and that is that whereas mainstream Muslims would believe that after the Prophet Muhammad there would be, that is it, there is no more until the second coming of the Messiah, which has not yet happened. Ahmadiyya Muslims believe something slightly different. Explain to me, if you will, Farid Ahmed. You are the Secretary for Foreign Affairs here.
Thank you very much. You're absolutely right that the difference between the Ahmadiyya Muslim community and other Muslims is the acceptance that the Messiah promised in Islam has come. We believe he was the founder of our community. Other Muslims are still waiting. So it's a simple but profound difference between us and them. Yeah,
I see. Looking at some of your literature here, and we saw the picture of Mecca, didn't we? And I asked you about Hajj and how you were accepted in Saudi Arabia, how you would be accepted in Mecca. Tell me a bit about that.
Well, that links to our past in the history in Pakistan, where we are persecuted to the extent that on the passport it declares our religion. So we are declared as Ahmadis, and under the Pakistan constitution, that means that we are non-Muslim, and therefore Pakistani Ahmadis are not allowed to go to Mecca to perform Hajj, which is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, quite a fundamental belief. So that's quite a serious case of discrimination against our members.
Okay, so tell me what's been happening here.
The concern is that this persecution and the ideology linked to the persecution is spreading to these shores. The seeds of that are being sown. We are seeing in our schools children being told they're non-Muslims by other people. We are seeing posters going up saying boycott Ahmadi businesses. We are hearing of conferences taking place where people are being told not to employ Ahmadis. We are also seeing that on satellite TV we are being declared as wajibul qatl, which in English is translated as liable to be killed. So this, we think, is not acceptable here. It's a clear case of religious discrimination and harassment, and our concern is that this needs to be nipped in the bud now whilst we can, before it's too late, because this will spread to others as well. What
do you make of the claims that it's one particular group that have been saying these things, isn't it? It's Khatam un-Nabuwa. They're claiming that your members are socially isolated, brainwashed and financially exploited, and that you're a cult. Answer those claims, if you will.
Well, these are allegations, and they are unfounded allegations. We are a member of a community. Our community is members are free to practice their faith. They're free to leave. As these people, some of them have left the Ahmadiyya community. So, we're not a cult. We are a religious organisation, and we're very open. We broadcast our message and our teachings on our own satellite TV, and we're open to scrutiny. So I think the allegations are completely unfounded. What is odd and upsetting is that the organisations that persecute us do so in the name of Islam and in the name of the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, when he himself was the harbinger of peace. These people are not.
In other words, what you're saying is that you believe in all the fundamentals of Islam. There's just a slight difference, and that shouldn't make you become ostracised by other Muslims.
That's right. We are Muslims who believe in the Messiah. We practice the same Islam, we follow the same Quran. We have no new religious scriptures. The difference is that our founder came to revive the true message of Islam, which is a message of peace. And I think the way our community operates, and the fact that you mentioned that it's quite organised, quite well funded by our members. We do not rely on funding from anybody else. It's something they find difficult. We find that as a sense of pride for us.
Okay, well, Farid Ahmed, thank you very much indeed. Back to you from the Ahmadiyya Mosque in Morden, Jumoke.
Thanks very much, Anna, talking to Farid Ahmed there. Now, listening to Anna was Akber Choudhry, who's an ex-Ahmadi who has been asked by the Khatmi Nubuwat Academy to speak on their behalf. He joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning, dear.
Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, you were an Ahmadi. You claim you're I understand you're an ex-Ahmadi. Why did you decide to leave?
Yeah, I mean, I used to be an Ahmadi, and most of my family is still with this organization. I was very aware of what Mr. Farid has just described about this organization. However, some of their organizational aspects are almost cult-like in the sense that they have a very rigid control of what you can say and what you cannot say, or what you can dispute within the organization, or what how you can communicate with people of other faiths. It's very tightly controlled. Then there is a process whereby they do not, all civil and criminal disputes are encouraged to be resolved within the organization. That leads to a power structure, that leads to a structure that's not very conducive to society as a whole. Mm-hmm. So in some aspects, they do resemble a cult, and this is not the word that I've used. As I've earlier pointed out to you, this was the word used by the Times itself in 1908.
Sure. Okay, 1908 is a long time ago for many of us. With all due respect to you, let me just, some of the things you say, for instance, people have to be there's a rigid control over what you can say or cannot say. All civil criminal disputes are resolved internally. I mean, this is a hallmark anyway of Islam. I mean, you've got Sharia law. What is the difference?
The difference is that again, you're very right in pointing out that there is a continuum between different organizations. If you request a moral, if you request that the decision be reviewed, or if you request that some aspect of that decision be explained, that is not explained, and the head of the community, of their community, is the final appeal authority, is the final arbiter, and his decisions may be very subjective. So again, you are right that there is some aspect of a canon law in almost every religion, but what is really striking about this organization is that they really do not have any encoded form. It's all based on context, whim, and how well connected you are within the organization. Add to that the exaggeration of their the claims about their number. Sometimes 200 million, sometimes 80 million, and so on.
All right. Yeah, I take your point about that. And interestingly enough, the things that you have highlighted, none of this seems to be about doctrine, which I would have thought would have been the primary issue. I mean, the idea that the Messiah has come, which is what they believe, which is different from what if you like, mainstream Muslims' belief that the second coming is yet to come, I would have thought would have been the bone of contention rather than any of these other issues.
No. The doctrinal issues, doctrinal intolerance is a thing of the past, and they can believe whatever they want. They can believe in a monkey god for all we care. The issue is that in the last few months there has been a concerted campaign with pamphlets and things like that being spread about them, and this PR activity right now that you are seeing with articles in different magazines and radio channels and so on is part of a concerted campaign by the Ahmadiyya, which is well and fine. But then the people who are affected or in whose homes these pamphlets get thrown, inviting people to come and join them, have curiosity about who they are, and they come and ask their local imam or their local mosque about what is going on here. And then they come in, because the Khatmi Nubuwat Academy are experts in this, and they've been around here since 1983. This is not something that's recent. And people then invite them to come over and say, can you explain to us? We just got a pamphlet thrown in our house that says that we are the tolerant, peace-loving Muslims, and you are not. But by implication, you're not tolerant and peace-loving. And people do take offense to that.
I suppose my question is, who is Khatmi Nubuwat? I mean, who are they?
Okay, this is an English organization founded here in 1983 by Abdurrahman Baba.
And who is and I mean, okay, I suppose the question is it absolutely recognized by mainstream Muslims, this organization?
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Katme Nubuat is recognized by mainstream Muslims.
That's right. Yes, we get calls from all different denominations and all different types of mosques for all over the United Kingdom to come and talk to them whenever they feel the need.
But what is the primary purpose of the organisation? I'm unclear.
Okay.
Is it a scholars organisation? What is it?
Okay, it has two main purposes. One is to provide information about the Ahmadiyya, as it is very hard to get information from them for straight information.
So it is an organisation set up to counter the Ahmadiyya?
Not counter specifically. That would be a very strong word. I would say just on demand. Most of the activity, we have never been proactive in the sense that, I say we in the sense of them because I'm not really a full-time member of that organization, but we have never really proactively gone and attended the Ahmadiyya functions or gone and we only do that in response to requests for information.
And how would you respond then to the claims by Farid Ahmed that there's been intimidation, posters, children being labelled in schools that they're not proper Muslims, that they are liable to be killed? I mean, do these come from your organisation?
No, this is all propaganda.
So none of this ever happens?
There has been some speeches and some activities in some areas on demand, as I say, that you go and people ask you, who are these people and what do they do? Why are they asking us to come and join them? But apart from these, even the Wimbledon Guardian has not been able to produce any such leaflet or any such recording where they say they are to be murdered or things like that. These are way over the top. And I don't believe that any person who had said that would be sitting at home right now. They would be in jail in this law-abiding country where this to be true.
Okay. Akber, I'm going to have to leave it there. I'm sorry we've run out of time. Akber Choudhry there. Again, one of those religious disputes where you start off thinking it's a simple dispute of doctrine, and then it turns out that there are other underlying issues that we were not aware of. My thanks to both my guests and to Anna for going to Morden to cover this for us. We may revisit this at some point in the future. I'm Jumoke Fashola. This is BBC London 94.9 FM. It's Inspirit, our Sunday breakfast programme.
BBC London 94.9. London 94.9.